Alright, so this just rolled into a shop for repairs. A guy at work said that a shop had told him that it was worn out and he needed a new one. Turns out that the pull cord was actually wrapped around the crankshaft. So I fixed that for him, and then I noticed it needed some work. You can see that the carburetor is all dirty. I got it to start up and run, but it won't run on an idle. It needs a tune, but it's probably never been serviced, so he asked me if I would service it for him. But this make and model is a Bilt 2-cycle Jumpstart. It's a TB2044XP. So with all new pieces of equipment, you need to start it up and see what's wrong with it. So we're going to do that first before we tear it down. Alright, there's directions on there. It says to pump it 10 times. Flip the lever, pull the engine, do not squeeze the throttle. Pull cord. So, take the carb apart and we'll take a look at it. Alright, let's get to the carburetor. So we're going to take out this air cover. Just 2 screws holding that on. Top one, there's the bottom one. Okay. And then on the top there's the throttle cable. You just tilt that up, pull it off. Then you got the fuel lines. You've got this, comes off, and there's your box style carburetor. That looks like the green line is on the front, the black line is on the back. And I'm going to replace these lines too. And this bubble. Now, so you don't make a mess everywhere. Probably gonna make a mess, but I'll get a rag. Got it on standby. We're going to take the screen nut off the front. Maybe. But now this is the beginning of life, so beginning of time. Sometimes you have to cut them. Looks like the black one's coming off. Black one came off. I just gotta get this green one off. There it is. Got the green one and the black one off. So now we got us this carburetor. And I can move this for the time being. And then we could focus on this little carburetor right here. So you got two sides to your carburetor. You've got this side and this side. One's for fuel metering, it's your fuel pump side. This side's for priming. So we're going to take these screws out of here, two on the top. Take those loose. And make a mess everywhere because it's full of fuel. Take those two screws out. The bubble, we're going to replace that. Metering off. Touch with that gasket. You're going to look inside and you got a little screen right here, and I'm sure this screen has a bunch of contaminants in it. I can see them from here. Got a bunch of little dots in it. So we'll clean that off and blow that out. Blow out these little holes. Then we got to look at this side with the needle. I need to change my screwdriver here. Oh, looks like I can do it. A standard. That one. It's just 4 screws. But you gotta make sure you don't rip the gaskets. Alright, I gotta take this off, right? You can usually pretty stuck, sometimes it just falls off like that. And then you have metering device, but to get underneath here, to get to the needle, so you want to try not to tear this. Sometimes you do, and you'll have to buy another one. I'm going to try to reuse it. A little scraper. Put this little flat tip screwdriver. I'm going to try to come underneath here without tearing this. Just work around the edges here. It's really on there. So I left some of the gasket behind. Well, let's see how it goes. You have to order another one. Sometimes you get lucky. It's never been in service before. Alright, we got that off. This still feels pliable. We didn't damage that, but we did damage the gasket. So we're going to see. We got to take this metering device apart. This is your little valve that pushes on your bullet to let fuel in and out. So you get rid of this screw, and there's a spring under here, so I just put my thumb over the wing. Take the screw out. And then try to let it all fall out together, right? So there's that spring. And there's the bullet valve right there. And now it's empty. So got the bullet valve. It's got muck on it. I've got the slide and the lever. And then I got the spring. Don't lose your spring. Alright. That's completely broke down. So now we'll, oh, it's incorrect. I saw this screen in here. Take this screen. I just try to grab it with the corner of a screwdriver. And just try to throw it out of there. Now I gotta go look for that on the floor. But you take that off, and then you, that's where the fuel comes in. So you wanna make sure that's cleaned up. And that screen collects debris. And I'm gonna look on the ground for that little screen. Oh, found that little screen. I gotta clean that out. So we're gonna clean out the carburetor first. So you just look for little holes and you start squirting carb cleaner through it, right? Alright. I think it's about as clean as it's going to get. Now I got to put these pieces back together. So this side, like this, there's check valves on this side, so you don't want to poke around or spray in here. It's in there. Your squeak, it's usually a good indicator if you put it together correctly. Now, I got my spring, my lever, my bullet valve, and my pin. Make sure there's no gunk on here. And the rubber's still pliable on there. It is. So You gotta kind of do a balancing act here. I'm gonna try to move this back a hair to get it in underneath the bullet valve, if I can. Not losing the spring. There we go. Here we go. So I've just got to start over. Alright, I got it. Make sure this pin is where it goes. The spring's in there. Figure your little screw. Keep your thumb over that lever and that spring so it doesn't go anywhere. And you retain that pin. And you don't have to put the strength of God on there, you just gotta get it snug. There it is. Now when I press on this, it moves the lever. It should move. Yep, sure does. Let's let my fuel in and out of there. So, I have this gasket again that some of it's stuck here and some of it's stuck there. But we're gonna see how it goes. There's carburetor or something. Making squeaky noises. So it's probably good. Alright, so next I gotta put fuel lines on the gas tank and take a look at the filter. I don't think I have any more filters, so I'm gonna have to go to the store to replace that. But I can run new lines. So. So if you look inside of there, the black line has the filter. Grab it. The black line has the filter that sits in the fuel, and the green one is just a purge or return. Tomorrow, push these lines a little further where they go. It's not in the way, so I'll pull them down. And I also need to check the spark plug. Let me check that right now. Yeah, I think that thing's seen better days. Focus on that. Well, it looks like it was running okay on the mix. Maybe a tad bit lean. Oh, it's interesting. So I'll get another one of these, and then I'll get a filter, and then I'll put that in tomorrow. And we will tune and test run this, and then figure out why the trimmer head wasn't spinning. Maybe it was just misaligned. Okay, new day. Got myself a plug. I got myself some fuel filters. I'll put those two in, and then we'll see how this thing runs. Probably have to tune it. Well, let's get to it. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing running. Alright, I got this thing ready for cold start. You got the two adjustment screws. The one closest to the air filter is your high speed. So I'm going to get started, and then I'm going to adjust the high speed, and then I'll try to get it to idle low. I'm going to grab a Phillips head screwdriver just so I can make adjustments on the trimmer head, see if that thing will spin. Well, it turns out that plug I bought wasn't sparking, which is kind of weird, new out the box. I put the old plug back in there, and then I had to do some tuning. I was really cranking on this thing. It was hard to start. I got it warm now, and it starts up, and then I tuned it. I'm sure there'll be another tutorial, another way for me to show you all how to tune this, but I'm going to try to start it up because it's warm. So it idles now. Probably still have to adjust it. I'm gonna give it a couple days, cold start, warm start. Like I said, I'm gonna give it a couple days. They're kind of temperamental. Make sure I got my tune right before I give it back to the customer, and then I got to figure out what's wrong with this trimmer head. But hey, it runs and it idles, and that's what we set out to do. That pretty much completes my video. Thanks for watching.